is Miss Hamer here, one of your Year 8 English teachers, and today I've made a video to share with you about a children's book that I've published, well 3 of them actually, and it was only since we've been doing our Hero's Journey unit with Year 8 English that I've realised that the books that I've published are following the Hero's Journey wheel as well, so I wanted to share this with you. Actually what I've got. This is Monty Bear, which is the character from my books, and I've written 3 books. One is called Monty Bear, the original story, then Monty Bear goes to Singapore, and Monty Bear goes to Australia. So as you can see, these are children's books, and I want to share with you the process that I did to actually having an idea, being inspired, and then getting to this stage with it. With these books here for Monty Bear, I actually do sell them in retail stores here in Singapore and Australia. If you know Kinokuniya, it's a big bookstore here, you will find Monty Bear there. Then also in Australia in various bookstores, and otherwise it's on the internet. So you can actually find Monty Bear with his own website at www.montybear.com.au. So if you want to find out more information, definitely go and click there. But otherwise, I'm going to share with you some inspiration and the process of how we got to this stage. Well, Monty Bear, how did I get inspired and how did he evolve to what you see today? Basically, I've been teaching for 20 years. I haven't always taught secondary drama and English. I've also taught kindergarten, and that's where he started from. Monty Bear was in my kindergarten class, and like a lot of kindergarten classes, they have a mascot, and the kids take it in turns to take the bear home, and they might write stories or draw pictures about what they did at home with the bear, sort of like their homework. Every year I would go and buy a new teddy bear, normally from Target, one that was on sale at Christmas time, and we would use that as our mascot bear. He was always called Monty Bear. And the children would take turns taking him home, and we then started all these stories that they were writing, or their parents were. We then thought we'd stick them into a scrapbook. It evolved over the years. The kids would not just draw pictures, they would then take photos and put them in, and instead of it just being a recount of what they did with Monty Bear that day, the children would create their own stories, the adventures of Monty Bear. And he evolved over those years, and he's come with me all over the world. I've taught in Australia, Jakarta, Moscow, Bali, and now here in Singapore. And he's come all the way around the world and evolved over these years. So what we then decided to do was, I don't know, about 3 or 4 years ago, Monty Bear, we wanted to actually create some storybooks about him because we loved all the inspiration we were getting from these children that were creating stories at home about him. Also, over the years, we've given Monty Bear a bit of a personality, you would say. So instead of it, he's just a bear, we brought him to life. He has magical qualities. So he talks. Monty Bear, if you listen very carefully, he does whisper. And the kids love that, where they, think that they can talk to Monty Bear and they have a confidant that they can share all their troubles and their worries with. We've also given him other little bits of personality where at night time he snores, so you've got to be really careful. And a funny story is, on more than one occasion, children have come up to, woken mum and dad in the middle of the night, and mum and dad are like, well, what's happening? And they're like, I can't sleep because Monty Bear's so busy snoring that he's keeping me awake. And the kids genuinely believe this, so I think that's really cute. The other thing is that Monty Bear cannot eat chocolate. So we say this to the children, and they come home and they will, with Monty Bear, and they'll hide the chocolate around their house and lock it up so that Monty Bear can't get to it, because we've given him a little personality where he just can't have one piece of chocolate. He tends to gobble it all up, so best off to keep it away from him. So we've incorporated all of this into his personality, and then it's come through in the stories later on. So now the question is, how did I come from teaching with Monty Bear in the classroom and the children writing their own stories and taking photos to actually getting to this stage here where I've got a bear and I've got some books here published as well. So basically the main reason for these stories, it's not just for fun and wanted to do something. There was actually an inspiration behind it, and it was about creating an emotional literacy program for kindergarten children. So you might go, well, what on earth is that? An emotional literacy program is about children in kindergarten that they need to identify their feelings that they're having. We need to actually teach and educate children about happy and sad and angry and anxious and frustrated. And so what we do through these stories, Monty Bear experiences some of these feelings, normally the negative ones. And in the stories, Monty Bear here uses some strategies of how he can take his big feelings and self-regulate himself with some strategies like doing belly breathing and counting backwards to then self-regulate and remain in a calm state. So that was the reason why we did come about with the books. Yes, it's a fun thing to do, but there is a moral to the story, and it's about helping children self-regulate their emotions. So with the stories here, we're not just stopping at 3. We've got Monty Bear. We've got Monty Bear, the original story, which explains about how he came about. It was from living in my classroom. And then he goes on a magical adventure, and the second story is Singapore. The third one is Australia, and we're planning to write a few more in the series. We think the next one's going to be in America. And so with the intention of having a series in mind, Monty Bear goes all over the world trying to solve a riddle, and he develops his emotional literacy along the way. So what I'd like to do with you now is share these books with you. Your teacher has got the ebooks of all 3 of these on Google Classroom for you to look at when you want to. But also right now we're going to play a read-along book. So a read-along is a storybook where someone's taken a video and they're reading the words and turning the pages for you. So I'm not going to share all 3 of them. I'll put the YouTube links on Google Classroom as well for you so you can look at them at a later date. But I think the most important one is to see the first 2 books, how Monty Bear came about and then where Monty Bear goes to Singapore. You'll find in here, this is where he does the hero's journey. So when we started doing this unit, I really didn't put a connection to my Monty Bear children's books with the 12 steps of the hero's journey. Yes, it's a modified version. We've taken it back to about 6 steps. But as you're doing this read-along book that the teacher's going to play for you, I want you to think about Monty Bear as the hero, the character. He's going to cross over to an extraordinary world. He's also going to meet a mentor. He's going to have some trials and tribulations along the way where he has a problem to solve. And then he comes back to his ordinary world. I want you to see when you're listening to these read-alongs whereabouts you can see these fitting into the hero's journey wheel. Okay, so have fun with it, and then I'll give you some instructions about a task that you're going to do once you finish reading these books. Have fun.